Hey guys, in this video we're going to continue on to construct a foundational familiarity with CRAAP. Again, CRAAP is the test that we use as part of the analyze step of the independent research process. It's also the step that we use to ensure that a resource relevant to our topic is in fact reliable. In other words, the information that comes from it can actually be used in any final demonstration of our learning. Again, this mini lesson here, this video is just about a foundational familiarity, so don't worry about understanding it perfectly. There are many more videos and more information to come. So let's go ahead and dive right in. First, what I want you to remember is in terms of CRAAP, it stands for currency, relevancy, authority, accuracy, and purpose. I want to just walk you through this graphic organizer a bit and kind of explain it along the way. When you encounter a resource, the first thing you need to do is check its currency. So first, when was the information published or last updated? As you know, ideally, we're not going to be using any information from any time before 2016. And then, of course, as based on your responses above, is the information current? And again, 2016 or more recent, that's what we're talking about when we say current. For relevancy, we're talking about, is the information at an appropriate level for you? So it's the same way we've talked about relevancy all year. So in other words, can you understand this information? Yes or no? And then, is the information relevant to your topic or question? In other words, will it actually help you to answer your question on collapse? As we move down, we come to authority. Now we're going to have a lot more, many more mini lessons on this, but for now, you're just going to try to identify who the author is, the publisher is, the source is, the sponsor, and identify what are their qualifications. For example, who is the author? Is the author a New York Times journalist, or is the author Mr. Cohen's grandma? Because if it's Mr. Cohen's grandma, probably a pretty low authority. If it's a New York Times journalist, probably quite a bit higher. As we move down to accuracy, again, many more mini lessons to come here. This is just to get a general gist. First, does the article or source contain a lot of useful, relevant, and impactful information? This is essential, guys, because obviously if there is not evidence to support the claims in the article, it's not going to be terribly accurate. Additionally, is this information reliable, truthful, correct? We're going to talk about how to sort that out soon. As we continue on, the P, the last letter in the acronym, stands for purpose. So we know that there are 5 different reasons why someone would write. Is it to inform, persuade, entertain, explain, or describe? And you want to consider why something might have been made. For example, if it's something like about, let's say, the collapse of Pompeii, and it's about the eruption of Vesuvius, but it comes from the movie Pompeii, made by some massive Hollywood studio, and the reason is to entertain. Well, it might not be the most reliable source out there. And then finally, is there identifiable bias? And this is, again, something that we're going to learn a little bit more about in terms of how to do this. From there, guys, once you've finished all 5, what you need to remember and understand is it doesn't necessarily have to have all 5. It should just have most of them, right? So, for example, you're going to rate it on a 1 to 5 scale. If it passes all 5 points of the CRAAP test, then it earns a 5, which is awesome. But you can still use it if it earns a 4. Maybe it falls a little bit short. Maybe, for example, the information was published in 2015 or 2014. Well, maybe it doesn't pass the currency test, but it still earns a 4 out of 5, and I think that's pretty good. When you start getting down into the 3, that's when I'm going to say you might want to avoid it altogether. You might want to find yourself a different source. Additionally, you're going to need evidence to support your rating. And finally, just to ensure that, well, you don't forget which article you're talking about here and which article you're CRAAP testing, you're going to copy and paste the article URL to this space here. Again, guys, I hope this has given you a general foundational familiarity about the CRAAP test. I'm looking forward to exploring it further.